Alrighty, so I just reviewed the content for Thursday and I've updated a couple of things from prior semesters. One will continue, which is basically building out your Project Zero. And I'll talk about that one last, like I do before. And then on this case, let's start with Introduction to the Cloud. So it's really helpful here to have an understanding of the cloud. And so I'm going to do something a little different in this lecture. First, watch this short video, take notes, create a cloud directory in lectures. In there, create your README MD, and then use headings and bullets to reference this video, the content in it. And it's basically going to introduce you to the concepts. And then, and this is a different part, read the article below, okay? And then select a cloud provider and a feature you want to learn more about, okay? And then find articles and videos and provide links in your README and write 150 words in your own voice that that is your understanding. I'll change that. Yeah, that means your own understanding. Actually, that is right, of what you've learned. Okay, so in this case, watch this, take notes on it, go read this article that's very good. I actually spent some time on it. It's really good in introducing the three major ones: AWS, Amazon, Azure, Microsoft, and GCP, which is Google. And then it compares them. So find a provider of those three and a feature, and then go find videos or concepts or just learn more about it and come back and write about it. So this is not a discussion board. This is a lecture. Okay, so in your writing, in that README file, okay, that's where you'll put the notes for here and the output from your research. All right, so that's the lecture. So then on on the last item, another new one. This was a fun video and I think you'll enjoy it. So in reviewing this, what I realize is that in the beginning, it's topics we've covered, but as the video goes forward, there's topics we have not. So here's the deal. Watch it. I recommend watching the whole thing. These are just good topics and terms to know about, right? So find sorry, a topic we have not covered in this class. Yes, I will reduce points if it's already covered. Then, like we normally do a bit of research about that topic, and in your reply, in your own words, write what you have learned and provide links to the sites. And yes, everyone needs a different topic. Okay, again, I think this is a really fun video. It's pretty fast paced, not like the Web 2.0, but what I like about this is you get just a quick introduction to first stuff we've covered, so it's a good review, and then things going forward. Okay, check that out. All right, so now for the last item, sorry, my throat is just a little scratchy, is continuing build your Project Zero and add a favicon. Now, almost all the templates have a favicon already, but what I want you to do is customize it. And I give you a link, okay, to, dang it, a generator. Now, it's not the best, and you can definitely look around and find one. And you can take a photo and upload it. So here's the site itself, right? So you could take a photo and upload it. And then when you do that, it's going to generate all of these. Matter of fact, I think I have my output from that right here. Yeah. So this is what I ended up doing is I ended up using another site to create kind of a cartoonish character of myself. And then I uploaded it into this site. You can do it however you want. There's other ways you could just use. You could search on the web for just doing a favicon based on like text. So you could do that as well. And then once you do that, for this site, it had you download. And it downloaded. I mean, the download, I'll show it to you. It was just crazy what was all in there. I was just like, why? Look, okay, so this is all the favicons that it downloaded. And by the way, for real legit sites, you do want to have these that render for the different systems, but I only really wanted one. And I wasn't going to put all this And again, for real production level systems, you want to think about this. For our purposes, not so much. So what I ended up doing is I didn't use their content because, again, most of us already have these sites or have an icon. So what I did is I went into my template, I went into my images directory, I found the icon that was already there. I went ahead and looked at it to see what size it was. So it was 32 by 32. So I knew the pixels that I wanted. And then I ended up just copying over that icon that was there, and it was a PNG. Some of you might have an ICO file, and that site provides either one of those. Okay, and then what I did that way, I didn't have to update anything else in the HTML as long as I kept the same file name. So first, finding out what your icon, your favicon icon is. It's pretty easy to find, right? You go in, okay, there it is for mine, right? Now it does show me the Apple Touch one. Again, I'm not going to worry too much about that. I could almost just get rid of it, but this is the most current one. Now, once you just copy that, for first create it, go find out how you want to create it. Like I showed you, there's also sites on here. I actually, this is what I used for creating my avatar, but I really wanted a free one. So I ended up finding a free one, which was good, but didn't give me a lot of options. For some reason, that does not. There we go. That's what I used. And then I created, sorry, it was real quick, but I didn't use all this. I downloaded it and then I just grabbed the one that was 32 by 32, that one, and I renamed it to just Favicon and placed it in that same location to make this easy. Now, here's the part where it gets kind of interesting. Okay, kind of challenging is that in my local live server, it didn't render. Now, it might for you once you update it. And so what I did is I went to the web, right? So I went, and this is fairly common. Oh, good. It actually is rendering, but it still doesn't have the favicon. Let me see if I read. Yeah. Okay, good. Actually, I hope you saw that. So this can happen. First, I noticed that some of my images were not loading correctly. And that's because, and this is a fairly common thing on GitHub IO, is that there's a lag from the time you update it until it actually shows rendered through the URL that is the website. Remember, this URL, that's why I keep harping on making sure you're posting the right URL, because this is how people see the site, right? Giving me a link to your files is not necessarily, it's not helpful to other folks to review your site. So one of the techniques, and I'm glad this rendered through, and I'm still not totally happy with it, but at least as a start I could use. One of the techniques, if things don't show up, that I make sure, hey, did that actually go and is it on GitHub? That's one thing. I also check my local system to make sure there's nothing that I didn't commit that needed to be committed. And then I go to my files, like before my hero image wasn't showing up correctly. And I'm like, is it uploaded? And it was uploaded. And if it was uploaded, and then, like I said a few minutes ago, it wasn't showing up right when I was getting ready to, of course, record. So I was like, okay, this will be a good time to talk about that there is a lag here. Okay, but just from the favicon icon, like I said, I've just showed you the process I've used. I don't go through and grab all those files and update that all that content. You're welcome to do that, but honestly, it's more work than for our purposes you need to do. You can also search, in this case, for icons. I just want something that you've created, okay, for your, oh, and this is the ICO. If you wanted it when somebody saved the site, they have that as well. But the ICO file, and what I mean by that is I was showing you the PNG. The ICO is also another way it can have that custom icon, that favicon here. Okay, so once you get that working, right? Yeah, I said look around and find other sites if you want. Once you're done, share your GitHub IO again, your link to your rendered site. And this time in your discussion, right, discuss what work you've done since Monday. Because of Monday of this week, I had you build out, right, most 15 pages. So what have you done? Because you really need to be working on this because we're in week 8. I'm recording early to try to help you, for those of you that want to work ahead. But just in general, we're in week 8. You only have one more week. So the more you're doing here, so my encouragement right? And if you're not doing anything, you get to say that too. Okay. And tell us, what's getting in your way. What is it you would need to change? So if you're not able to work on it, you at least at minimum need to favicon. And I would say at minimum, you need to be doing something. But, I'm also trying not to be like, you got to do it right now, because I also understand that, schedules are different for everyone. Okay, so on this one, you don't have to hit a reply, because on the 100 plus is the one you'll hit a reply on. All right, hope this helps you. Talk to you later.